So it's actually kind of crazy how 4 or 5 things in this chapter kind of happened exactly how we predicted them in my last video. We're gonna go over some of those predictions as well as a full chapter review and talk about what could potentially happen next, so definitely stick around for that. I was actually kind of shocked to see that there was a full chapter. I thought the chapter always comes out on Friday, but maybe there was an exception since it was a month off, but I hope I don't get a strike for showing some of these panels too early. So I totally knew that Sukuna was copying when he said he didn't need anyone to fulfill his existence and teach him about true love and fulfill all his potential. And we're seeing him now being kinda depressed and not understanding exactly why he's depressed. I think by the end of Sukuna's character arc, we're gonna find out that he did need this, or he did want it, or maybe he does get it as well. But a very interesting thing to me, in this chapter it was confirmed finally that Uui does have the curse technique to teleport, which we all kinda already knew. But that's a pretty sweet curse technique. I am making a full video about this, but this shows how broken Gojo is, cause he basically has multiple curse techniques. Teleportation is Uyui's full curse technique, and Gojo has it as just a bonus to his own curse technique, among many others, so definitely subscribe because there's some really big videos coming up. And now that the holidays are over, we're gonna get back to a more consistent schedule. But speaking of Gojo though, we found out that Uyui picked up Gojo's body, or at least Gojo's body disappeared. And Sukuna confirmed this when he saw Uyui come to pick up Higoruma's body. In the spoilers I was seeing that it was confirmed that Gojo is dead and not coming back in this chapter, but I'm not really seeing that confirmation. I'm not seeing anything new we didn't know. I'm sure we all already thought that Sukuna thinks that Gojo is dead. It's very significant to me that Gojo's body was picked up and it disappeared. The way it's just being revealed here that it disappeared, I mean, it could just be for like no reason at all, just to bury him. Like, really, you're gonna go bury people now? Like, is that really the most important thing? So this just tells me that there's just something they're trying to do. Now, whether that means that he's coming back or that his body is gonna be used to like maybe power up Yuji. You know, Yuji said that he would eat anything if it means defeating Sukuna. I'm not saying he's gonna eat Gojo, but maybe like just a finger or something, I don't know. The point is, I think the fact that Gojo's body disappeared is a very significant detail. And it's gonna be very exciting to see the theories that come out of this and what people think is going to happen exactly. And I'll definitely need to look into it and see what it could possibly mean. But getting back to the chapter, it seems like Sukuna is starting to understand what everybody's been talking about. A wish that you care more about than your life. And he's seeing that these people right here are doing everything and throwing their lives away in order to stop him. And he realizes that he doesn't have this thing, or he's trying to figure out what is this thing for him. But can we just talk about how well Gege draws eyes? I love the way Gege draws eyes. There's so much emotion and intent, especially in the way he draws like Sukuna and Gojo's eyes. I think it's just really cool. So Sukuna is wondering like, why is it upsetting him to see these people die to achieve their ideal, which is to kill him and stop him from doing what he's doing. And he's wondering, I saw this 1,000 years ago many times, that he didn't care back then, so why should he care now? Did he change that much in 1,000 years? And this is when Sukuna realizes that it's because of Yuji all the stuff he's feeling. He realizes that Yuji is almost like, I mean, I wouldn't say a friend, but he knows him like a friend. And he almost like he knows Ryomen. They've had like casual conversations. They've talked like in a chill way where they're not trying to kill each other. So Sukuna is saying that their souls coexisted inside Yuji's body. So maybe Sukuna might even have a similar thing with Megumi. He knows Yuji's memories and he knows Yuji, and he knows no matter how many times he breaks Yuji's soul, he's gonna keep coming back. It reminds me of watching Naruto as a kid, and he was fighting Neji, and whoever Naruto was fighting, like back in the OG Naruto, like you just knew he's never gonna give up, he's gonna keep coming. Sukuna is kind of making the same reference here about Yuji, that he just knows that this dude will never quit and will never stop, which is interesting to me because all the other people are also similar, but you know, like they're all gonna die before they quit and they let Sukuna win. But the thing about Yuji though is, Sukuna tried to break his soul because he knows what Yuji cares about. He knows Yuji doesn't want to see innocent people die or the people he loves, and he knows that will break Yuji, and he keeps doing it, you know, similar to the way he killed Megumi's sister to break Megumi, but Yuji is different in this regard, that no matter what happens, he's gonna keep going. Basically, his spirit is just insanely strong, which is also another like reference to the way Yuji is able to just suppress Sukuna. So I guess Yuji just has good genetics. And by the way, so speaking of Yuji's genetics, even though we see Yuta back here like right now, he's just about to appear, We all know, and it was confirmed, that Kenjaku was plotting something right before his death. He said his will be carried on and will be passed on. But still, I don't think he would just die. Like a character like Kenjaku will not just die like that. My point is, we can't have Kenjaku even go without talking to his son. Yuji talking to his dad. Like, I feel like that would be a big moment in the series. So I feel like Kenjaku just found a way to survive like a snake, if I had to bet. But now we're getting Sukuna against Yuta, and this makes me wonder so much. Like, in my last video I talked a little bit about like how will it be when the Queen of Curses finally meets the King of Curses. Another thing I thought we had to see, and I'm just glad that it's getting implemented here. But obviously Sukuna is way more powerful than Rika ever was, unless she gets like some kind of power up, like they've been training with Yuta. They're still nowhere near like good enough to match Sukuna, whether she's the Queen of Curses or not. But the thing I talked about in the last video is like, will Yuta be able to like copy Sukuna's abilities and Sukuna's attacks? And we're about to find out. Yuta is basically like the only person who is kind of like close to being able to match a weakened Sukuna. Because we know Sukuna had like twice as much cursed energy as Yuta, but Sukuna has way more efficiency than Yuta. Unless obviously Yuta has just added something, and Sukuna seems to think that Yuta is going to be the main dish. Although I feel like I kind of doubt this, because Yuji is here and he's already learned reverse curse technique, which I think is kind of weird. How he just learns it that quickly. But I mean, Yuji was very, very talented. But reverse curse technique took like Gojo like years to master. Years. Only Yuta is the only other person we've seen in the series just learn reverse curse technique so fast. And that just spoke on Yuta's talent. And Sukuna thought Higoruma could do it as well. And he was very disappointed that Higoruma couldn't do it. But Yuta did it. I mean, Yuji did it in a month. But yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. But I guess in order to fight Sukuna or even guys on Sukuna's level, you do need to kind of have reverse curse technique. I don't mind it too much, to be honest. It's not too much of a BS power up. Maybe a little bit, but not that much. And this is the first place where I actually think it might be possible that Kenjaku actually did die. Maybe the thing that Kenjaku was plotting is adding this rule that Megumi Fushiguro, meaning Sukuna, can activate the merger. Maybe this is the plan that Kenjaku was trying to enact. But I would still be shocked if Kenjaku's role were just to get beaten so easily. Oh look, and Sukuna confirms it right here, saying that this is Kenjaku's insurance. I mean, yeah, obviously it's only Kenjaku who would add this kind of rule. Going through the spoilers, I didn't quite understand who was saying this. I thought it was the main cast who was saying that Okotsu's ambush was successful. But it seems right here that it's Sukuna who's thinking this, and he's wondering that, oh, Okotsu ambushed Kenjaku and successfully killed him. At least he says probably. And this is the reason the backup plan was activated. And I think this is very, very good, because this is potentially going to give us something really unbelievable. And something I was really, really excited about. Like from the very beginning, I've been wondering the merger with humanity. And if this could happen without like the entire Japan or the whole world dying, I really hope we get to see this final boss thing. And how it would match up against Sukuna. Because Sukuna thinks that nothing in the world could match his power. And he intends to play with this Tengen merger. And I think that would just be fascinating. I think he'll be way more powerful than Sukuna thinks. I think Sukuna might decide like, you know what, let me just activate it right now before I kill all of you, so you all get to see it. And he's gonna maybe be thinking that he doesn't want to be like the only one who gets to see this. So we might see in the next few chapters, we might see Sukuna activate this. Provided that there's another way it could be made. Because if you have to kill all of Japan, there's no way they're gonna add that in some manga. I guess it's not killing them, it's merging them with Tengen, but like you really can't have a happy ending. Imagine if the series ends and the whole Japan is destroyed, no one is left and basically all the main cast is destroyed. And obviously I don't think they would even go so far as to have Sukuna and Uraume be the only people left on Earth. I mean, not on Earth, but in Japan at least. Even if they do win though, imagine if Yuji, because I've heard something that it might be that Yuji will be the only one who survives and all the other Jujutsu Kaisen students and whatever, they will all die. That's one of the few ways, apparently Gege said, that Jujutsu Kaisen could end. And I just don't see that happening. I see most of I've also heard that we could have Yuji die and then most of the others survive. Which is also pretty sad. But even if Gojo doesn't come back, the series is still at a very fascinating point where Sukuna is seemingly just all powerful right now. You do have Yuta Okotsu and you have all the other guys, but Sukuna is still a big favorite to win and beat all these guys. But who knows how strong Yuji has gotten. He can use reverse curse technique. What else has he learned in a month, huh? I want to hear that the only reason Yuji was able to learn all this stuff and get all this knowledge is because he somehow took some of Gojo's power with his soul swapping stuff, whatever, somehow. Or through being in Sukuna's body, he's learned how to use Sukuna's curse technique, but also how reverse curse technique works, because he's seen Sukuna use it, he's felt it. So if it's given this explanation, that would make sense, you know? I want something that makes sense. At least that's what I hope for. So yeah, Sukuna says, I'm going to kill all of you and all your friends. He's telling this to Yuji with a big smile as well. And then he said that after that, I'm going to kill every player in the calling game. And then he's gonna play with Tengen's merger, depending on how it goes and what happens after the merger. Even though Kusakabe was just thanking God for a second that, oh, we killed Kenjaku. Kenjaku is the one who wanted to like almost make humanity go extinct or evolve humanity or whatever it was. But Sukuna isn't really the type to want to commit terrorism like that. And let's not forget, Sukuna lived in the Heian era and he would have people like worship him. And he wouldn't just destroy them right away, just like that. Only when they pissed him off or whatever it was. I don't know how it worked exactly. But they seem to think that he's not as crazy as Kenjaku. But no, Sukuna is debunking that and saying that he's gonna play with that Tengen merger, which means he would destroy all the people, I guess. Just like Kenjaku was going to do. And so obviously the chapter ends with Okotsu just jumping in. It says that the Queen of Curses against the King of Curses. I want to see the throne be decided right now. But other than that, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.